So thank you to the Far Out Lounge and the Austin Justice Coalition for making this happen. Shout out to my venues, Native Hostel, Austin Poetry Slam, and 310 Brown Street. I want to get started with something that I think is significantly and very important to my heart, which requires a question that I asked from the audience, and that, you feeling my hat? What you think? That's nice hat? It's my first time wearing it. Bought it like a month ago. It was an impulse buy because I was up in the house, locked down and lonely, and just wanted to feel good about myself. So this is my feel good about myself hat. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. So I'm going to bring you my experience. I'm going to bring you pain and tragedy, and I'm going to bring you excellence and hope. My experience. I have the blood of a Formula One racer coursing through my veins. My Honda Civic with the modified truck engine was fast and furious. Cannonball runs through my DNA. I mean, I frequently view speed limits as suggestions for drivers with weaker skills. $100 speeding fine, I'll pay it tomorrow, turns to failure to appear, suspended license, and warrants, all of which can be deadly when living in a world where a fetus seems to have more right to life than a fully formed black man. At first, I didn't even know it was the police. His lights were so bright and white, they outshined the colored ones, desperately trying to alert me that they mattered too. I succumbed to the siren and sought shelter on the side of the highway shoulder. Determined not to be the color palette this cop used to paint the streets with, I armed myself with the necessary legal documentation. Insurance card ready, the license locked and loaded, hands fully visible because I wanted him to see it coming. This ain't no Western. Cowboy quick moves are often concluded with corner calls and caskets. He steps out of his cruiser and sachets to my car. No. He spills out of his tank and tsunamis to the front line. No. He nightmares out of my dreams and Freddy Krueger's his way to my reality. And I don't want to be confused as Mexican. I mean, with Mexican culture, I didn't want to be this officer's piñata. So I shucks, I jibes, I smiled, I yes sir, I was polite and respectful with all the manners my mama and the military taught me. I wasn't raised in a beware of killer cops culture. My respect for authority is the right thing to do. It wasn't given to me by the matriarchs as a survival skill. We weren't worried about getting killed. Fear 5-0 was actually fear of mama. Come home in a squad car if you want to. We, the rambunctious rascals, neighborhood knuckleheads, thugs before thug meant nigga, would purposely trip alarms and 911 ourselves to play hide and go seek with the police because we were stupid, stun guns were science fiction, and Tamir Rice hadn't been born yet. I have been a human for almost 50 years and a nurse for over 20. A man in scrubs is as frail and fallible as a man in blue, but we have the power of life and death. We are here to serve you. We are not authorized bad days and mistakes. Survival should not be predicated on politeness. Suspicious behavior, I suspect I'm pissed because you pulled me over instead of that little old lady that sped by me at 90. I suspect I'm terrified because you rolled my ass until I made a ticketable mistake. I suspect you might be friends with the man that didn't like the bland taste of Sandra's attitude. And once again, I find myself the victim of another police execution of his lawful duties. He got it right, and I was in the wrong. So I was blessed enough to add him to a pathetically long list of police officers who allow me to walk away. Drive away. Live that day. I am from Texas, where we have a right to open carry. The problem with open carry is it makes you a target. And by open carry, I mean the melanin loaded in the chambers of my skin. You can find me at Mr. Michael 310, 310brownstreet.com. You should do that. You should help me feel better about myself by giving me likes and follows. That's how I validate my existence in 2020. Yeah, gotta validate. Yes. I do a lot of hat pictures because I love my hats. So new shit, we're gonna try and make it without looking at it. So when I say new shit, you're supposed to say new shit. Let's do it again. New shit. There we go. George Floyd, the usual suspect, killed over maybe a fake dollar or check, proof Life is not what they respect. Who's next to get a knee in the neck? Black ball player blackballed for taking a knee. Black man dies when cop takes a knee. I can't breathe, mama. I don't want to be another hashtag or halo. How can one soar to success when they clip the wings of James Birds with Jasper City Dragons? I can't even go jogging without buckshots in my belly. They made a meal of Tamir rice, seasoned with hashtags and halos, sprinkled with bullets, bloody bodies, sauteed over BB guns in the park, like the ones Rekia Boyd caught, and the only probable cause is systemic racism. A new video every week. When they can't pull you out the car and drag you in the streets, they deliver hashtags and halos to your couch. No knock means no right to fight back. Even when they get the wrong house, black women aren't safe behind closed doors. Not when the bullet has a name on it that looks like yours, Breonna. Taylor made excuses for every murder. She was suspicious. She fit the description. She was resistant. We sweeten salty tears with Sandra Bland hashtags. Another tragedy to follow, another suspicious death to swallow. It's like they're hungry for more hashtags and halos. King brought us peace and you killed him. Our people pulled themselves up by their bootstraps and you bombed them. We built our own churches and you burned them. They don't see color and we don't see justice. They riot when their team wins. We riot when you slaughter kin. How can you compare that? We don't want the flame to catch, but we be barrel of black powder. They be lit match. We believe in peace. We don't want to see our cities burn, but we have a right to defend ourselves. And we've run out of cheeks to turn. So I wrote that piece for a documentary that's coming up. It's gonna be centered around all the stuff that's going on and the mural that Chris has done on the corner of Native Hostel. Go check that out. It's 4th and Brushy. It's a dope ass mural. It's incredible. So that was the pain and tragedy. And now I bring you our excellence and our hope. Because black people ain't just a tale of tragedy, right? Not only we not just a tale of tragedy, but America would not be the America, the planet would not be the planet it is today if not for the contributions of black people. Alexander Graham Bell was too inept to really get the light bulb right. He wouldn't have that shit if it wasn't for the filament that we came up with, right? This might blow your mind, but Alexander Dumas, the guy who created or wrote the Three Musketeers, he was black. Beethoven, sorry. So Beethoven was black. He was passing, but he was black. So anyway, let me get off my bucket, my stool, and if we can hear the sound of the ocean in a seashell, then can we hear the sound of the ghetto in a Coke can? From the ocean, do we hear the cries of a people ghosted into nothing, choosing the waters of triangular trade over being traded on the auction block from the ghetto? Do we then hear the moans of a people left behind with empty hands, annihilated identity, castrated culture, severed tongues, fighting for a rung or a bootstrap just to pull themselves up by? No, there is no ocean in seashell. But it does resonate an ensemble of ambient air, a discarded thing, pulling in the vibrations of a world around it, giving the ear something to dance to, the mind something to think about. Thought becomes desire turned action, creation, brushstroke becomes painted picture, then pen on page, then poem. We are people. Powerful enough to turn nothing into something. We make a way out of no way. We nurture nations with empty pantries. We turn Section 8s into sanctuaries. We big mama magic the scraps into fine cuisine, then food for the soul. They love how we translate our frequencies. It's so jazzy how we rock. We made our blues a sellable sound. We wrapped the king's tongue around our drum. Now everyone wants to be hip. We can orchestra and orient to opuses from ambient noise and symphony the silence. into universes. We be the true image of God, creating life from non-existence with just the sound of a voice. And when our children are morphed into martyrs, we turn tragedy into triumph, poverty into prosperity, victims into victors. We don't appropriate, we create. We take the least and make it the most and convince the rest of the world it is worth having. We swim upstream. And we do it with so much suave and swagger that the bear wants to be salmon too. Bought our bodies, commodified our culture, gentrified the sound we found in the Coke can, took everything. But when you are people who can turn nothing into something, create something out of nothing, then nothing becomes the only thing you can't do. My name is Christopher Michael. Hooty hoo.